Live streaming has become ever more present, especially over the last year or so. With the ability to go live at any moment from your mobile phone, it's possible to share any event that's happening around the world. But how do we do this on a professional scale? Well, I set up a professional live streaming solution so simple and so easy to use that I actually did it from my living room, and I brought you this video to show you exactly how I did it and how you too can get up and streaming professionally in absolutely no time. Let's start with the cameras, like the one here on my left. I actually have two in this setup, both from RGBLink, one of which is the RGBLink PTZ, and the other is the RGBLink PTZ NDI. Now both cameras have a lot of similarities. In terms of control, they both operate over the Ethernet ports, and they both have SDI and HDMI video outputs on them for connecting to traditional video equipment. They also have RS232 and 485 connectors for remote control as well as an audio input. Now the main difference between the two cameras is the NDI functionality of the PTZ NDI. NDI stands for Network Device Interface, and it's a protocol that's been developed to transport both video and audio as well as PTZ control all down a single Ethernet cable. This is really powerful if you have a large network or a large facility where you need cameras all over the building and you want to be able to access them from just about anywhere. NDI allows you to do that. So in the case of the RGBLink PTZ NDI, I could set this up anywhere in my house right now and be able to access the video from it over the network. As you can see here, if I open the NDI Studio Monitor application, I'm actually able to pick up the video signal from the RGBLink PTZ NDI. Just by going to the top left corner and then to NDI HX, and there we go. I have the video from that camera. I also have all of the PTZ control as well, so I can remotely control that camera just from the joystick on screen. NDI is also supported in lots of applications, including Zoom, Teams and Skype. There's even an NDI plugin for OBS. Now both cameras actually come in two variations. There's a 12 times optical zoom model and a 20 times optical zoom model. So you can actually choose whichever one suits your workflow the best. The backbone of this entire workflow is another RGBLink product, and it's the RGBLink Mini Plus Vision Mixer. This is a 4-channel mixer with 4 HDMI inputs and 1 HDMI output. It also has a locking power connector, so regardless of where or who I'm working with, the power isn't going to get disconnected accidentally. We also have an RJ45 port for connection and control, as well as a USB 3 output that we'll touch on in a little bit. The main concept behind this mixer is similar to any other mixer, with a program and a preview at any one time. The main concept behind this mixer is the same as any other mixer, with a program and a preview being used to denote what's live and what's lined up to go live next. Our program, the part that's live currently, is denoted by a red LED, whilst what's lined up to go on next is denoted by a flashing green LED. To transition between the two, I can use this small T-bar in the unit itself, or if I don't want to use the T-bar, I can actually change it in the menu by clicking on Set and scrolling down to Mode, where I can then change the mode from T-bar to Fast. If I then come out of that menu here, all I have to do now to switch between sources is actually press the button on the source itself. Above the source buttons, we actually have two different menus as well. We have our normal menu where we can set up things like the output resolution and frame rate, or the set menu where we can control the transition type or effects that we might want to apply. We also have a little LCD in the middle of the unit itself that shows us all 4 of our sources. A good thing about the RGB Mini Plus is that it has scalers on all of its inputs, so that it doesn't matter what resolution or frame rate we're inputting into the unit, as it will convert them all to its standard output resolution. If we don't want to control the unit from the front panel, or if we have someone else who's helping us with our live stream, we can actually use the RJ45 connection to a computer and use the built-in software for control. The software has all the same functionality as the front panel, but I find it to be laid out a little bit in a more user-friendly way. For example, if I click on the menu here, I have everything laid out really simply in drop-down boxes down the side here. For example, under Input Info, I can see all the information about all three of my HDMI sources here. If I wanted to set up USB control, I can change my output between program and preview, and we'll get onto that in a second, and I can change the resolution and frame rate that I'm outputting from the device itself. We're also able to set up things like password protection if we don't want anyone messing with our settings. If we come over to our set menu in the software, we have the options for Mix, Picture-in-Picture and FX. Under Mix we can choose the transition type that we'll use when cutting between different sources. With Picture-in-Picture, we can take one of our sources, make it smaller in a window and overlay it on top of another one of our sources. With the FX tab, we can add things like logos as overlays, we can do chroma keying if we have a green screen backdrop, and we can also control PTZ cameras. So we don't need to use the web portal for the RGBLink cameras because we can actually control them from the unit itself. The USB output also appears to the computer as a webcam. This means that I can take the program output from my mixer into applications like OBS or XSplit, or even use it with Teams, Zoom, Skype, anything that supports a webcam input. The HDMI output of the mixer can also be switched between program and preview. This means that if I'm taking the program out to my streaming application over USB, I can use the HDMI output as a multiviewer, and with the multiviewer I can see my program and preview as large boxes, whilst I can also see all four of my inputs on a larger screen. The final part of this puzzle is from Yolobox, and it's the Yolobox, which is this small monitoring device I have on my right here. This small box actually can be used in a very similar way to the RGBLink, as it has two HDMI inputs that I can cut between. It also supports things like graphics and overlays, and it even has a built-in scoreboard functionality if you happen to be streaming live sports. But where its real power lies is in its streaming capabilities. Now if I connect the Yolobox to my network via Wi-Fi or Ethernet, I can stream directly from it. But if I have a 4G LTE SIM, I can take the Yolobox anywhere with me, take an output from, say, something like the RGBLink Mini Plus, or directly from a camera, and I can stream without being connected to a traditional broadband network. This means that I have much more portability and flexibility with where I stream and when I stream. When it comes to taking your content live, the Yolobox supports streaming to traditional platforms like YouTube or Twitch, but it also supports streaming to custom RTMP servers. If we want to edit our stream after the fact, we can also record to the SD card port as well. As you can see, I've built a really powerful streaming solution from the comfort of my own living room. With very little kit, I'm actually able to cover a wide range of possibilities, allowing me to take on jobs streaming just about anything. I hope that this has helped you understand a little bit more about some of the brands that we have at ScanPro Video, as well as some portable streaming solutions. If you have any queries, please don't hesitate to contact the ScanPro Video team.